What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, Terrance Crawford, he's suing Bob Arum for like $10 million. And basically, this is what was said, that Bob Arum is a racist. Top Rank only has like 3 black employees and no executives whatsoever. Now, we're not there to see and know what's going on. I'm not questioning his integrity and what he's saying. I don't know the situation. Aside from what we see on camera, people can just say Bob Arum's just a bad businessman and oh, I don't think he's racist or what this race. I don't know what Terrance Crawford knows about behind closed doors. Okay, you don't, and neither does anybody else reporting these things. That's basically just receiving boxing news. A lot of people are. It's funny because they calling Bob Arum a bastard, a no good, piece of crap. They call him a scumbag. They call him all types of names, but they're questioning, the validity of what Terrance Crawford is saying. It's like, oh, but how can you say this and this? This is what I will say. Okay, when you don't have the information, when are not aware of what's going on with the details, you're not qualified to sit up and say what is and what isn't. The most you can do is give your opinion, but is it really necessary based on a point of you trying to defend someone, maybe because you're the same skin color, and even if you're a different skin color, just the point of a lot of people they feel like you should go along, the go along, get along game. If somebody is treating you wrong, if someone is showing racism, if they are, you don't know what that person see. I see things all the time. Certain things, it's one thing when you bring it to a camera, but and people will say, well, I don't see it. Example, when Deontay Wilder was accusing Tyson Fury of being racist, and when he was basically saying it's us versus them and like all of this, my whole thing with that situation was this. Because he lost a fight, and then, him and all these channels and people close to him start claiming they had proof and evidence of, all these things about Fury. I never was defending Fury. Like, oh, I don't think Fury would do that. I don't know what Fury would do. Okay? What I was saying was, you're saying that you have proof, but you're not presenting it. So if you have it, you don't have to tell us, keep talking about what you have and what you're going to present the proof. All of that, just for, in the end, Deontay Wilder gets interviewed and sit there and say, I know what happened. I know, but it's hard, when you don't have proof. But you said you had proof. So my thing was, no, it's not the point of I'm black, so somebody black is claiming racism. I'm just going to automatically say, yep, it's racism, when where's the racism coming from? When, in that situation, the only person that was making racist comments was Deontay Wilder. So my whole thing was, you're saying things that we don't see, and you don't do a good job at expressing these things. You're just making claims. You had black people, oh man, you Uncle Tom, you selling out, you taking up for that fucking stinking British guy, and this and this. No, first off, they'd never say that to my face. And secondly, nobody was taking up for Tyson Fury. Okay, what I challenge is the logic when you fail to make sense of what you're saying and what your claims are. So my whole thing was, well, if you have this proof, then you bring it to the light. You keep saying you have it. Your people keep saying you have it, but where is it? Okay. As far as Terrance Crawford's claim, I'm going to say this because, like I said, I don't know any of these guys to say, oh, I know what's happening. I'm not going to put it past Bob Arum. He may be a racist for all I know. I don't know. But what I will say, okay, and what my focus is this. Terrance Crawford can deal with whatever he has to deal with, and him and Bob Arum have went back and forth openly. Okay? Even to the point where he said he'll walk out on Arum. He don't need him because Arum doesn't do anything for him, and Arum said, I don't care if he leave, I won't miss him. He can go, and they're back and forth. My question to Terrance Crawford is, what the hell else does Bob Arum have to do for you to finally leave this guy? I mean, you said, Bob Arum couldn't get me the Errol Spence fight. So, it's time to move on. So, like, why re-sign with this guy for what? It's nothing that he can do for you. If he could have done it, he would have done it already. Okay? Promoters can't force another guy to fight you. Now, it's just such thing as stripping a guy if he holds a title, or if he's a mandatory, and things can happen, okay, legally. But for Terrance Crawford, it's like, okay, you're getting no younger, and you wasted a lot of time with Bob Arum, because the success that you had, you probably would have even had more should you went elsewhere. I said, last year, Terrance Crawford is probably going to end up with the PBC, and if he doesn't, he needs to go where he can get the fights that he needs. You know what I mean? Because the majority of the welterweights are where? The PBC. Okay, the majority of the top welterweights. And so when you look at fights that he could have right here, right now, this is time he can't get back. So I don't understand why the hell he re-signed with that guy with Top Rank, period. Just, he should have got away from that. You can't sit here and talk about being loyal to someone that's not loyal to you. So unless if he feel like that's the best fit for him, then what's he going to do? I mean, there's different type of deals that he can have with different, companies. If Terrance Crawford name doesn't ring bells to these guys, I mean, he just beat Sean Porter, and I told you guys, beating Sean Porter. Let me explain this. Sean Porter has respect because he fought all of those guys. But you're not the first person to beat Sean Porter. Sean Porter has lost to all of the top current heavyweights except for Danny Garcia. He's fought them all, and he's only beaten one. Okay? People even thought Ugas beat him when he fought. A lot of people, most people probably, they thought that Ugas won. So it's like, okay, you beat Sean Porter, but that's not going to put you up to superstar because you beat Sean Porter. Sean Porter's no superstar. He's a respected fighter. Excuse me, but Terrance Crawford, to me, is still in the same position that he was in before he fought Sean Porter. And basically, everybody knows this. What you want to see from Crawford is him versus Spence. Thurman's back in the mix. You want to see him and Thurman. Should he beat Spence? If he sticks around, okay, is he going to fight a Jaron Ennis, a Virgil Ortiz, a Conor Ben, and then call it a night? Say, okay, I've done all I need to do. How it's going to go, and it is not as simple as I'm saying it. He has not been able to get the fights that he wants to get. But overall, to re-sign with Top Rank was something that made me just like, I'm like, what are you thinking, bro? So again, what else does Bob Arum have to do for you to, understand that you should have been parted ways with this guy? And people are saying, oh, he's just using the race card to get his way and try to put pressure on Arum, and that's not right. But it's so funny because all of these people that sit there and talk about how terrible Arum is, all of a sudden now it's like Spencer's making excuses. And see, here's my thing. People get so into this dramatic soap opera style, this approach to boxing that they start to, overlook the reality. The reality is, if you are not being compensated properly, if you're not getting the fights that you want, and your promotional team is sitting back knocking you. I mean, I've heard Bob Arum give credit to fighters that he don't promote, but he shits on Terrance Crawford, saying that his style is boring and he can't sell a fight. I've heard him say all types of shit about Terrance Crawford. And, Bob Arum was the one, because I can pull the video up, said Floyd Mayweather is the greatest fighter he's ever seen. He's better than Ray Robinson. He's better than Ali. He's better than Leonard. I've never seen a combination the skill, the speed, everything. He has, good power. He puts it all together, his thinking brain. I mean, this is the greatest fighter I've ever seen. When him and Floyd Mayweather was no longer doing business together, all of a sudden, Floyd is the worst fighter he's ever seen. Floyd this, Floyd that, Floyd this, whatever. Same way he downplays Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua was his fighter and he was and he was winning and doing, he big up Anthony Joshua far more than he does. He doesn't big him up. He always says that, AJ's overrated. He doesn't really think AJ's a good fighter. But at the end of the day, look, because Terrance Crawford brought that to the light, people are talking about it and they're having their opinions. And I'm not going to get into, I don't know what Terrance Crawford saw. All right, you never know what happened behind closed doors, but some things you see, other people just don't see it. So I don't know, I'm not going to dig too much into that. That's not what the video is about, based on. But he did make the comments, and like I said, I'm not putting it past Bob Arum. He could be a racist for all I know. I don't know that, But at the end of the day, I will say this, okay? There's been shitty and shady promoters in boxing forever. Whether they're the same skin color or different is their fighters, bad business is bad business. But I'm not going to sit here and act like racism don't exist. Like I said before, you got a lot of fucking idiots. The people that start calling racism just because you call bullshit on somebody. And like I said, I don't know what, we don't know the occurrences between Arum and Terrance Crawford. But I will say, like I said, there's certain fighters, when you're giving them their props, people they support you. Oh yeah, you know your shit. But as soon as you call them on their bullshit, they start calling, oh, it's racism. It's racism because you're simply calling somebody's bullshit. So how stupid do you sound when I'm saying shit about black fighters? I'm not sitting there focused on the skin color. You guys are. So when I say something about a black fighter, then you got black people talking about, oh man, you going against your own people. How stupid are you? I'm here to give boxing news. I'm not here to be biased. I'm not here to be a fan. I'm not here to sit here and root and woo-woo and raise the roof for this part. No, I'm sitting here. There's people that I want to see win and guys that I push for to win, but I'm not going to be biased towards anybody. I'm just here to give the boxing news. When you have kids and your kids competing things and you see that people are showing racist acts towards them, showing some type of bias towards, other players or opponents around them, it will get under your skin because you'll see it. But you guys are so busy being fanboys that you're blinded by your own, this whole patriotic nonsense of, no, bro, it doesn't matter who you want to win. But if racism plays a part in your decisions and how you see things, then you're basically not qualified to say anything about anybody as well. Because for the simple fact, you partake in it. It's just that when it's not happening to somebody in your nationality, you don't care. So whatever personal things goes on between Bob Arum and Terrance Crawford has been already put on the internet by both of them. So let them deal with that. My whole thing is Terrance Crawford wasted a lot of time. He could have been further in his career. We don't know how things would have happened. I mean, could have, would have, should have, but he didn't. Why he sticks around Top Rank is beyond me. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.